Welcome to Liz Rocks and Stuff. I'm Liz. This is episode 118 of What's in My Tumbler, starting off with Candy Coated Chaos. This is yellow, pink, and green opal in stage 3. And so everything went fine this week for once. Seems like I didn't forget to record anything, and I didn't forget to do stuff. It was all good. I'm having a good week, I guess. Anyway. And we're going to get this all rinsed off. I did get a new sprayer because somebody tagged me in TikTok, from Glitter to Gloss on TikTok, tagged me because she had the same type of sprayer that I had, and the plastic control knob popped off of hers and nearly took out her eye. So taking that as a warning, I now have a new thumb controlled sprayer that I actually kind of like. It's going to take some getting used to because I guess my thumb is kind of short for it, but safety first. Anyway, getting these sorted out. This is using some resin filler, and then once we got all that sorted out, I'm going to fill that up again, and we're going to put this into a soap cycle. I really don't have much to talk about this week, y'all. Well, I could, but we're not going there. Anyway, after the soap cycle, we're going to get all of this rinsed off. It's looking pretty good. First of all, I very nearly just poured all this in and put it into stage 3.5, but then I remembered I'm using plastic media, so we got to sort that out. So I did speed this part out because you don't need to see me sorting through rocks a second time. What I did once I had all of the actual rocks sorted out, I realized that I actually had a small enough batch that it would probably fit in my 1-pound tumbler. Now, I put my 1-pound tumbler on my 3-pound bases. It works just fine. It does, because it's a smaller diameter, it does rotate at slightly faster speed than the 3-pound ones do, but it is fine. It works just fine. So what I ended up doing is just putting these rocks into the 1-pound tumbler. It doesn't need any filler at this point because it fills that up quite nicely. So from now on, this is in the 1-pound tumbler. So we're just going to put some water in. I put a tablespoon of borax and a full tablespoon of stage 3 grit. Probably didn't need to do that, but it'll be fine. So we're just going to put that back together, and then because this is a new one, we're just going to write it in. I didn't feel like having you guys watch me write Candy Coated Chaos, so we're just going to do CCC and start stage 3.5. So that's 1,000 grit. All right, Opal Quartz. This is a mix of various opals and various quartz. So there's a piece of quartz from my backyard. There's some of the rainbow quartz left over from that batch. There's all random pieces of the opal from Candy Coated Chaos. So these are all currently in stage 1. Yes, stage 1. So what I'm going to do is just do a not so quick sort. I don't think that big piece of quartz is going to get completely smooth, to be honest. It's a harder bit of quartz than your average, I guess. But I'll move it on eventually. I'm just going to let it have as much time in stage 1 as I can give it. So I'm going through here, and I did forget to bring out a sorting bucket. So anything that's ready to move on to stage 2 is getting put off screen, and then I did eventually go and get sorting buckets because maybe I guess that's one thing I forget, but you don't see that. That's just me forgetting things when I'm doing it. But anyway, so we're going through this, just sorting things out. That was that piece of opal that I pulled out of the Candy Coated Chaos last week, which looked fine this week. There's no more little crumbly bits of rock, so that was, I think, the culprit of those little bits that I was finding. So that has been solved. And then once this gets to the end, I am just going to add some more rough to it. So I have a lot more opal that had been Tumbling with Candy Coated Chaos, so that's really what I'm going to do. All these little bitty bits of quartz, I mean, eventually they'll get moved on to the stage 2, but for now I'm just going to tumble them and use them sort of as filler. But this is, you know, little bits of leftover glass and opal, pretty much exclusively that's what's in there. So now we're going to fill this up. And this hasn't been using a lot of grit, so I do put a full tablespoon of borax, but I only put 2 tablespoons of stage 1 grit in here because I want to make sure that I'm not wasting anything. And it's kind of a pain to rinse grit out of this table, if I'm being honest. All right, now we've got the Softy Bunch. This is chrysocolla and lepidolite, which are both about a 3 on the Mohs scale, which is why I'm calling them the Softy Bunch. This is really pretty. I like this rock. I haven't shown a close-up of the lepidolite, but it has little crystals and shiny things, and I'm hoping that this turns out well. I don't have a lot of hope for it because it's so soft, but I'm going to give it my best shot. I might even try dry polishing, even though I've had horrible experiences with it in the past. I might give it a shot and see what happens. But we are going to do some sorting here, and I will say almost all of the chrysocolla was ready for stage 2, and almost all of the lepidolite could have used another round of stage 1. But also, since it has those little crystalline bits in it, I didn't want to knock all those off. I didn't want to destroy that. So at the end of the day, after I did all of the sorting, there really wasn't enough to do another round of stage 1. And nothing that was left and needed more time in stage 1 really had to have more time in stage 1. It was all smooth enough. It's just, I'm making sacrifices here. So I put in some media to help cushion it a little bit because it did have a little bit of wear down. Tablespoon of some soap, ivory soap. And then we are just going to put this on the tumbler for a few hours and give it a soap cycle to get it all rinsed off. And then this is all going to get moved into stage 2 this week. So that's exciting. This is also going to go through all 5 stages, not just the 4 that I normally do, because it's so soft. That is kind of needed. So it'll go, this is 1, 2, 3, 3.5, and 4. Which I've been doing for a lot of my stuff lately because I seem to be on a soft rock kick. Generally like hard rock, but whatever. I make myself laugh. I don't think anybody else laughs at my jokes, but I do. Anyway, put all that back in the barrel, some water, and then a tablespoon of borax. And I believe I just did 2 tablespoons of stage 2. Yeah. It's because it's soft. I don't want to destroy this stuff. So 2 tablespoons of stage 2 grit, and then this is going to go into stage 2 for a week. And I'm looking forward to see how this turns out. I'm kind of treating it a bit gently. We'll see if that does well for me or not. All right, Shattered Dreams. This is the obsidian that I previously polished that broke. And so we're going to... This also didn't really go through the grit like I thought it would. I think I just kind of... In stage 1, you don't want to... I'm still refining my obsidian method. But if I'm going to do stage 1 with obsidian, I think I've come to the realization that stage 1 needs to be treated like stage 1 with any other rock. So you don't want to overfill your barrel like I do with the rest of the stages with obsidian, is I overfill fill it. And that's intentional. So I'm going through here, and there were a few things that I felt were definitely ready to go on to stage 2, but most things I felt like could really use some more time in stage 1. They just weren't as smoothed out, or they still had some little cracks or bits in it. And so I ended up, we'll talk about what I ended up doing once I get through with the sorting, but I just am going to go through and do a quick sort, and then I'll be back once the sort's done. All right, sorting is done. So basically, I was like, I'll just put everything back in for stage 2, but I want to leave some room for this, or stage 1, and I want to leave some room so that it can actually tumble nicely, but I want to leave the media in there for now. So I just took out 2 of the bigger pieces that definitely did not need more time in stage 1. I'm going to put in a little bit of borax, about a tablespoon of stage 1 grit, and then this is just going to go back on the barrel. We'll see if this kind of works or not. I may not use this footage for my final obsidian video. We'll see. But anyway, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. And I hope to see you all back next week.